What up, 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 what up? It's your boy, it's Ron and Don. We in the building. It's Brooklyn Bears Ball Sports Show. One more time, a Fat Fly episode about to come your way. There's so much to talk about today. You know, Ja's making all the headlines. But before we get there, we need you to subscribe. We need you to smash that like button. We need you to share. Facebook, YouTube, you know what to do. Put some comments in there. Talk back to us. Give us the heat. Give us the smoke. We don't mind at all. Big D, what's good with you, bro?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. A very interesting show. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Man, listen, this is an exciting time. You know, lull in sports, excuse me, after the Super Bowl, and now we're into the final stretch of the NBA season. And, you know, now with a lot of the NFL moves off season, this is a good time to discuss sports, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. Wow, Morant, has been in the news. Obviously, most recent about his recent Instagram post where allegedly there is a gun that he is flashing and holding up to his head while partying. And so what's interesting enough, prior to him having and going to a party in Denver, because they were on a road trip. So they were playing the Denver Nuggets. I believe they just lost to the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
And Steven Adams, who is a veteran leader on the team, had a players only meeting. Hey, listen, we're in second place in the West. We have, everything in front of us to make a playoff push and really make some noise in the playoffs. I don't know the extent of all the meetings, but I'm sure that was mentioned, their position, their seating, and let's finish strong.
Yeah, facts.
Right after the meeting, this is what happens. Morant, yes, I appreciate. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to the party. I'm going to the club. I'm gonna have my shirt off. I'm gonna have an alleged gun. And we say alleged because it's just I don't know. I don't know what if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Facts.
But we'll say alleged for legal purposes. But this is it's unfortunate that a young man with so much promise in his future, so much to live for, so many things. This is the beginning of a budding NBA career that he is willing, because he doesn't have to do this. Morant is in a position where just a very small percent of people may ever be financially, exposure, just platform wise. So he really has the means to have security. If he so needs it, he can have security. Someone else who is paid, that's their profession, to guard somebody or be security, armed security, could have that gun. He doesn't have to personally have a gun to protect and defend himself. Especially you're in Denver, you're on a road trip. That's you should be focusing on, hey, we lost. What could we have done better? Right. Let's move forward. Let's try to, improve on what we, have done. We didn't win the game, but we're still in, second place. Let's really make a playoff push. What do you say?
No, I agree with you, D. And I think Adams, his meeting after the game, was a clear indication that he was concerned about some things that obviously was taking place, most likely, right? Even before that game, behavior, probably a lot of stuff that was going on that we or the media was still not even aware of, perhaps, right? I mean, we know all the issues. You got the incident with Indiana and the infrared on the bus, the young kid that he, apparently assaulted there at his home, threatening the security guard at the mall. You see all these things, and there's probably was some more activity that was going on with Ja, or a lot of things that was, obviously matriculating that Adams was concerned with. Being a leader in the team, being a veteran, he's like, hey, like you said, let's focus on basketball, guys. But what you gonna do, right? Ja is the reason why you're there, right? Ja is the reason why You have success in Memphis. That team has not seen a player of that caliber since its inception when they were back in Vancouver, right? So this guy is, he's all world. The first guy to be actually become the face of Powerade. They've
That's
never,
right.
endorsed an athlete ever. And he's the first one. Signature shoe with Nike, right? They drop Kyrie, they pick up Ja Morant, right? And so Ja gets a signature shoe, which is something to be heralded. That's not something they give out like candy, right? When Nike does that with an athlete. And then, of course, he's got the big contract, he's got the big money, and, he's doing all these great things. And the problem is, it's unfortunate. Now, right? This is where you look at a situation like this and you go, man, is it all even about sports right now? And that's the hurting part, because it's like you see a good star, young star, the African American, we have the population in the NBA as we do in the NFL. We see these guys work so hard to get where they are, D, and then to get to this place. And you're still making these decisions. You're still with crowds and with people that clearly, in my mind, they're not loving you. Somebody in your camp clearly does not care. And I'm not saying that he's not being told, or somebody's not relaying to him or trying to advise him on what he needs to do. And maybe he's just at a place where he's just dug in. He's stubborn. I'm doing what I got to do. I got these millies, and that's what I'm going to do. And if y'all want to continue to eat, you better do what I do. But at the end of the day, he's got to realize, man, like, you are throwing away so much. And you said it last week so eloquently, D. You talked about how he's got so much to lose and nothing to gain. When you look at all of these things that's coming, his way with these ill-advised decisions and the things that he's doing. And so to me, it's devastating. It goes beyond basketball right now. Right now, you're like, okay, you got the suspension from Memphis, the team. The coach said, look, we're going to support Ja, but at the end of the day, we got to be accountable because we got a team. So that's at the team level, right? But the NBA is going to definitely come down. They got to. So, anything for optic purposes, they got to. But they're going to definitely come down on him, and they warranted to do so. And then you got investigations now with law enforcement that's pending. So we don't know how this can go. Ja could end up being gone for the season. You know what I mean? So we don't know how this is going to turn out. But again, it's an unfortunate situation with such a young budding star who clearly was becoming the face of this league and with so much promise.
Yeah, and you know what? Stephen A. mentioned it on First Take, I think, a couple of days ago.
Right.
The NBA has a system in place that they monitor all of their athletes. It's not a surprise. These are, as much as they're athletes, as much as they're representing the NBA, they are also commodities. Correct. And these are very, very high-priced commodities. And that's the way the NBA looks at it. Absolutely. They don't care about individuals. They just care about how it reflects positively or negatively against their company. Correct. And exactly. So because they are paying millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to these commodities, they want to protect their investment.
Sure.
And so they are monitoring through officers. They have assigned people to watch and monitor everything you do. So it's no surprise. There is no shock that they know who was there. They know how. I'm sure they're working to find out how the gun got there.
Absolutely.
Was it a gun that a local bought in and handed to Ja? Or is this Ja's gun? Or is it somebody, how was it illegally bought? Because the concern and what he has to now be concerned with is, was this transported? Is this Ja's personal gun? Is this, because they weren't at a home game. Mm-mm. They were playing, they had just lost playing the Denver Nuggets. So how does this gun, it had to get, if it's his, it had to have gotten there on the team plane. And the NBA is very specific about guns being on, whether it's the on a road trip, whether it's a home game, whether it's at a facility, it cannot be, whether it's legal or an illegal handgun, cannot be at the facility whatsoever. So they're going to investigate all of this stuff, and he really shouldn't, just for the sake of the safety of his teammates The safety, and I'm sure that some of the things that Steven Adams also addressed, although you said all of those things, as a older player who has been in the league, as a leader on that team, I'm sure he had to have discussed how the team as a whole, from a maturity issue, because from a talent standpoint, they definitely have talent and they're a deep team, but they lack maturity, and that is always going to be a setback for them.
Correct.
Because let's just think of on the court stuff started to become a problem. They're ready to fight everybody. They're always willing to. And of course, there's always been trash talk with sports, right? People are trash talking. That's kind of par for the course. You expect that. You know, if you want to shut me up, play better, right? But when it becomes something where people are physically, or if it's a threat of violence, and we're now on the court, people are paying big money to come watch us play a game. Watch us play something that we love to watch, and most of these players loved, and this was their passion growing up. We come to watch that, whether we're at home, paying for NBA League Pass, or actually at the game. We don't want to, we're not there to watch them fight and get into something. This is not a hockey game. Hockey, you expect some of that. That's you want them to throw the gloves off and throw punches, and
especially if you don't understand
sliding on the ice. You don't mind that. But you don't want to see that in an NBA game, right?
No,
so I think there was stuff that was bubbling under the surface that, we always talk about art imitates life, or life imitates art, or however it's said. But I think it started to spill over. People's bad decisions outside of the game they started to try to bring on that bad boy persona and image to the court. And the NBA is not having that.
No, not at all. Not at all. They're not doing that at all. I mean, we saw the malice in the palace. We saw what happened in our test. And actually Indiana probably would have, they had a nice team. They're doing very well. They probably would have been in the conference finals at the minimum that year. But when when that happened, Ron Artest is gone for the year, and Steven Jackson and guys got suspended and so forth. And so, they look, you always got to understand, right? Again, in a Eurocentric type of culture, you talked about commodity, right? Because that's really what these guys are at the end of the day. The system knows how to benefit off the culture. They know what to allow a certain degree of infiltration. So what? They can make money, right? Because they got to relate to the fan base. They got to relate to the culture. And they want the players who have this certain level of liberty. And Adam Silver is a lot more liberal than his predecessor. David Stern was not having it. I mean, with Allen Iverson and coming in, and he was a whole thing that started the dress code now, where people have to the players had to come and dress up and everything in suits at the post-game interviews, and even come to the arena dressed up. That started back then because Iverson was coming in with the do-rags and the baggy clothes and looking what they said thuggery, right? So, but the league is going to allow some of that, right? But to your point, once it gets to a place where, you're messing up the brand, right? Like you said, Donald, nobody wants to come and go to an NBA game and expect to see guys fighting in the court, and then, guys getting suspended, and you got melees going on and all this kind of stuff. Then of course, the off the court stuff. And what you have, particularly with the guns, because we're living in a very sensitive climate when it comes to gun control, and you've got politics that play a role in gun control, and all the things that we see going on today. It's just not a good look on any level. And I think that's the thing that these players got to understand. Like, Ja, you a millionaire. You can hire people to protect you. If you feel like you are some kind of threat, you feel like, okay, somebody trying to come for you, whatever, maybe you got something in your past that's still trying to creep up and interfere with your progress into your future. Listen, you got bread. You can get people, and you can hire ex-military, FBI agents, ex-secret servant dudes, whoever you got to do, and these guys can protect you like you're the president of the United States. So, like, at the end of the day, you got means, you got ways in which you can counter all of these things that you feel you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, man, it's again, this is bigger than basketball. I hope a lot of guys are really looking at this, man. And I really hope somebody really gets his ear, because he did say today, I need help in his apology, which was a good thing to at least put out. and he said he needs to get the help. I'm just wondering what kind of help that is. What kind of help is he really going to get? Like, what is really going on with him, and what kind of assistance is he either willing to receive, or does somebody believe that he needs that they're trying to offer him?
Yeah, that's interesting. And also what we have to be aware of is, as much as the NBA benefits from the athletes and the hip hop artists aligning, and they benefit from that type of urban blend.
Right.
Let's not forget they're hip hop cops also. There are cops that follow. So even if you think, hey, I'm just going to be in the studio, I'm going to hang out with my favorite hip hop artists.
Yeah,
they are being tailed.
Exactly.
Cops are watching them. Undercovers are watching. So you can't get away.
You can't.
Big Brother is always watching. And so, just like most cases that take place, they let them go on, and they're just building a case. And whenever they want to drop the hammer, they will drop the hammer, because believe me,
ain't no question.
Time is on their side. When somebody is waiting to catch you, because nobody's perfect. When someone is waiting to catch you red-handed, doing something that you shouldn't be doing, that maybe reflects poorly on who you are or who you're supposed to be representing, time is on their side. Absolutely. I'm just going to wait here. Okay, you did that. Okay, cool. I see you doing that. Okay, I see you smoking weed. Okay, perfect. Got it. I'm documenting everything. I'm keeping meticulous notes. So when it comes time, you do something we don't like. Okay, it's time to release this. Absolutely. We got our video of this. We heard you say this. You said something that was off color. Now we have a way. We have a way to keep you at bay. Keep you doing and staying in line. Toe the line. As Jerry Jones would say, toe the line.
Toe the line.
They have a way. And they have paid professionals to make sure that you toe the line. I mean, that goes NFL too.
NFL too. Absolutely. Major League Baseball too. I would
everything.
Yeah,
they are watching.
They're watching,
and they're always just taking.
And can you blame them? I mean, at the end of the day, right? You can't blame them. No,
you can't blame them at all. There's a lot of money at waste, and as I always say, I joke around, but there is some. I'm serious about that. I do say sports, to a large degree, is rigged. They pay. There's too much money on the line to allow jocks to decide it. Absolutely, too much money. Way too billions, trillions of dollars on the line to let just I'm not focused today. I'm not. They are watching. This is a long-term investment.
It is, D.
These players, if people are being recruited in high school and college and sometimes junior high school, this is an investment. You have to pay someone to scout.
Yeah.
Money is being paid long before you prove anything.
That's somebody putting in them hours to follow you. Exactly. And you know what, D? They're following you, and you make a good point, because they're following these kids from junior high, right? To the proms they go to and the little house parties they go to. Somebody's across the street with binoculars looking, right? Because you're a prospect. And so they gotta, and like you said, they're taking copious notes and they writing down what they see.
They want to see patterns. They want to see who your surrounding group is, who's your group, who
going in and out of your house and your mom's house and in the hood you hanging out in. So yeah, man, it's listen, look, Ja, man, we praying for you, bro. We hope you get the help you need. You're too gifted of a player. You're too talented of an athlete. But more importantly, man, you gotta wake up, bro. You gotta see, the legacy. You got a young daughter, beautiful young girl. You want to build something. You've established enough wealth now to cover 3-4 generations after you, man. Don't fall into this, man. Don't fall into the trappings of what people are trying to do in relationship to pulling you down, man. You know what I'm saying? Because to the NBA, you're Ja Morant today, but they'll get another one tomorrow. That's not anything to them. As Don just said, man, you guys are just a commodity. And so you can't don't let the system, suck you in, and you can't let the history or the hood and this image and persona of being tough and I gotta be able to do yo, bro, that's God. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do. You didn't have to do it even before you got Luke. But now that you got that paper, bro, you don't have to do that. Don't go that route, man. For real, you ruining so much for yourself, your life. And you don't want to be that dude, man. You don't want to be that dude with a documentary of everybody going to what if documentary, what you could have been. The Lawrence Phillips and what's my other man out there that was Lloyd Daniels and all these other dudes that were great athletes and highly drafted and saw some success at the professional level only because they couldn't curb their appetite, so they couldn't control.
Len Bias,
Len
for that
Bias
matter,
was another. Oh my God, Len Bias! Could you imagine what his career would have been like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How devastating was that, right? All because of drugs. He was addicted to something that's taking him down. And this is no different, D. This is no different. It just looks different, but it's the same kind of avaricious appetite that's behind all of it, man. And it's sad to just see our brothers in situations that they don't have to be in. So I hope he gets the help, man. I'm interested to see what it looks like, but there's a lot of things pending, man. A lot of things pending. And you can't have stupid comments like Paul Pierce saying dumb things like what you say, like, yo, man, you know, in the hood until you know. Look at this stupid comment. Look at this dumb comment. I don't care what y'all say about Ja. I carried a gun after I was stabbed. Y'all don't know what he going through. Everyone got something to say until you really know what's really going on in someone's life. When you black and rich, you a target, period. That's the most stupid, idiotic, dumb thing I ever heard in my life. You know what that makes it sound like? You remember the episode of Cosby Show episode? And then Bill Cosby saying to Theo in his room when he talks about the money.
Yes,
Did you see that episode? And he tells him about all these expenses you're going to have to pay. And he's like, oh, no, I can do this. I can still buy this. And then he says to his father, you know, Dad, I just want you to love me for who I am. I just want you to just appreciate me for who I am. I may not be successful like you or Mom, but just love me. And he said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's the most stupidest thing I ever heard you say. You know what I'm saying? Right. Why? Because it is stupid. Why would you perpetuate something like that? Now, what you did, Paul Pierce, is only thing you did is you just threw more fuel on the fire. All you're doing is co-signing and perpetuating a narrative and a behavior that is destructive. Like, yo, bro, and I don't want to hear that from you. Like, you got millions, bro. You got options. It ain't like a kid that's caught up in a gang in the street with very little option. And not to say he doesn't, because everybody has an option, right? But it's a different level when you're in the hood and you're trying to make ends meet. You see your mom is struck out on drugs, your father's not in jail, or he's in jail, and you got to take care of baby sister or baby brother. You trying to put food in their mouth, and you trying to struggle, and you dealing with all these different obstacles. But come on, bro, when you get to that level, ain't nobody gonna be like, yo, he needs to carry a gun because somebody's coming after him or because he's targeted. Nah, man, nah. Come on, Paul, You talking idiocy right there. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
None.
and especially with when you're rich and black, you're a target. This is the problem. What Josh should do is when he reads that tweet, if he reads it, he should consider the source. And he should look at, okay, you had a post-career, talking about Paul Pierce, had a post-career, and what did he do with it? He displayed bad behavior, and ESPN ultimately fired him.
Exactly.
He's posting videos and doing lives, right, with strippers in the background. He has all kind of drinks in his hand, and so what ESPN does is say, "Hey, listen, this does not reflect our company. We're going to move on. Ties will be severed."
Exactly.
And so, what he should be doing is encouraging him that the NBA, all of the platforms, ESPN, Fox Sports 1. Everything, all of Nike, it's called reallocation. They will take that money, they will take that push, and just slide it to the next great player. That's all. That's it. You'll be left out in the cold. So be smart about it. It's smart. What we're trying to say is it's not about the money. It's about your life.
Facts. That part.
This is what it's really about. Facts. It's about the core of who you are. It has nothing. Because even if you didn't have a dime, if we never heard about you, that behavior, the things that you're doing, leads to a very dead end. Right. And so that should be more of the concern, not sympathy, not, yo, yeah, man, when I got stabbed, I was carrying guns with me and you don't know. And foolishness. Yeah, all foolishness. So hopefully he is at this point, when he's away from the team, away from the league, he's listening to positive reinforcement. people that are really concerned with him as a man, him as
right.
a father.
Right.
Those should be the concerns. Hey,
right. I agree.
It's time to do a 180.
Right.
You gotta turn away, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Repent, turn from this foolishness,
right?
And get your life back on track.
Exactly what it is, D.
And so hopefully that's what he does, and we're hoping that he makes the tough decisions. Right. Hey, get that circle, make that circle smaller.
Definitely.
T Morant, you help your son decide who should be, who's not making the cut.
Exactly.
Who is actually working against his longevity, his life.
Exactly.
Hey, we gotta kind of separate ourselves.
Stop being thuggery yourself, T Martin, T Morant. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't co-sign the behavior with you wilding out. You know what I'm saying? Getting into altercations yourself. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So to be determined. We'll see what the NBA does. Nike has quickly put out something. We're gonna stand behind him. We're gonna support him.
Well, you know what, D? And before we move on, just to go to the other side of this spectrum, right? Flipping the coin. And I know I'm kind of moving in your lane now, but you could see a situation where, we talked about the money, we talked about the commodity, right? And so, there are some players, and I can't think of any off the top of my head now, right? That where the NBA could be like, all right, look, we gotta make this go away, right? We gotta make this go away. We need to talk to some people, and whatever investigations are going on, whatever, contingent upon Morant getting the help that he needs, and that there's some promises, obviously a discussion he takes place with Adam Silver or whomever, like the way Kyrie had to, and really like show remorse and really, try to convince him that he's going to be on the right path going forward, right? The conspiracy element to this could be like, okay, look, you know what? Hey, I'm going to make a call to the Colorado police. Make it go away.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm trying to say? Let me make a call over here. The assault.
How many Cowboys?
Jerry does it all the time, man.
Exactly.
Jerry does. Listen, that's who they might be even talking to. Jerry, how do you handle things like this?
How do we get this?
I got it. Well, we
blame Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin is dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, Michael's dealing with some stuff now.
Right.
Yeah, poor Mike, man. Poor Mike. Yeah.
But what we're hearing is that it's, he has a pretty strong case. But we'll see.
Yeah. From what I understand, he's definitely.
They can definitely, the NBA, who they want to back, NFL, who they want to back, who they want. If they want it to go away, it goes away.
It will go away. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot though that Ja has done just in a short amount of time. But again, if he shows remorse, obviously the apology today was a step in the right direction. He just has to make sure that, he's going to really follow through on what he says he's going to do to improve himself and to make the modifications that he needs to make in his behavior. And I think that's, will get him where he needs to go. So, yeah, I think they could. So I just thought I add a little conspiracy element to the equation. Like I said, I'm not moving in your lane a little bit. But like you said, Ja might be a commodity that they would throw a bone to right now for this first one. But if he, I
don't think what you're saying is that much of a conspiracy. I think that's just how business works.
Yeah.
If they still think that there's a redeeming factor, we still can make money. Thug line, whatever. If they could make some money off of it,
right?
I think it's not a conspiracy. Now, what would be a conspiracy is all of this leaks so the Lakers can make the playoffs. Now I'm just joking. Because they play the Lakers soon.
Yes, they do. Well, listen, and I told you.
So he happens to be away from the team when this is all happening. So that's a conspiracy. Look what they're doing so LeBron can make the playoffs. Unbelievable.
Take as much time as you need, Ja.
I think you played them twice.
We got him again. I think we got him twice in our schedule. So yeah. If you need more time, just take.
He may be out. He may be out until you guys finish.
Right.
But listen, let's talk really quickly about the Lakers, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
really impressive win. They beat the Warriors.
Was you impressed,
I was.
Okay,
I was.
Cool.
I thought. Listen. Cool. Yeah, I call it like I see it. They were impressive. Anthony Davis balling out. 39 points. Yeah. Really, really good game.
Yeah.
He was aggressive from the beginning. he had to, like, because ultimately what helped was they got out to a good lead.
Right.
And so that helped. That gave them some cushion down the stretch
Yep.
because once Steph did start getting hot, because this was Steph's first game back.
Yeah.
So you got to, I don't know if he was on a minutes restriction, but he started.
Right.
Steph is going to be Steph.
Oh,
you know, it's just a matter of time. So the fact that the Warriors had to come back from a deficit gave them, gave the Lakers the opportunity to just hold them off and ultimately win the game. And I thought that was the fact that Anthony Davis got involved early, wanted to be the focal point of the offense, that set the tone for the entire game. Because had he been kind of you guys get started, let me defer, you guys would have lost it, because the Warriors did start cooking after a while.
No, they did. I was very nervous. It was heating up.
An insurmountable lead, and although it got close, they were able to ultimately hold them off. So it was an impressive game. What do you say?
No, I agree with you there. I was a little nervous in the fourth because Steph started cooking, and we did give up a big lead. But again, like I always tell you, the big leads in the first quarter, first half, I don't buy a lot into it. I'm always nervous because the team is not going to continue to shoot that well. At some point, the opposition's going to find their rhythm, and they'll start getting going, especially if you got shooters like Steph and Clay. You're going to eventually, you can't imagine that you're going to just blow them off the map, unless they just decide to have an off night and they just don't care. But, they was going to make it competitive. But to your point, AD was aggressive, man. And I believe this, and we were saying it before when DeMarvelous was on here, AD can abuse any human being that's in front of him. There's no man on this in this league that can hold that man when he gets aggressive and he wants the ball and he can shoot. He's so skilled. He's so adroit with his abilities from no matter where he's at on the court. The man can shoot, he can rebound, you got the defense, he finishes around the rim. He's got a nice soft touch, when he needs to be a little aggressive, when maybe the under the basket move, he can, kind of take up the dribble a little bit, go inside. Again, it's just always the injuries with AD, but he played very good. I also thought Schroeder played well too. I was a little disappointed in him the way he finished the Minnesota game. That was a game we should have won. And Darvin Ham, it was said during the game with Golden State, he had jumped on the team. He didn't like the energy, he didn't like the effort. It was very lackadaisical, which I do believe. But Schroeder bounced back in this game. I thought he handled the team well. He ran the offense really, really well. Did a nice job. And I thought Reeves did well closing out as well, coming down to the stretch of that game. So I like what I see. Hopefully we get D'Lo back, because I want to be able to get him back so we can preserve, Schroeder a little bit more. And have that nice little, I like that 1-2 punch with them coming off and complimenting each other off the bench there, playing the point guard role. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back. We'll see. And but yeah, good win, man. Good win. Much like your Nets, man. Good win against Boston. I was very impressed, man. I have to say, Bridges is really coming into his own, and I think he's really, he got something going on there. He's definitely showing the world that I can ball. I know he was in the shadow of Booker and Ayton and Paul, but he's showing you something. He definitely showing you something. So that was a good win.
Yeah, and speaking of teams winning from beginning to end, we did that against Charlotte. I mean, it's Charlotte without their best player, but it can happen. An early lead can cascade into just a comfortable victory.
Sure, it can.
It is possible with great teams. I'm just joking. The Nets aren't great, but we've showed some grit, some Brooklyn grit.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, once again, we'll be anywhere between the 5th and 7th seed. But let's talk about another very, very good game. One of the best games of Sunday, which was the Dallas Mavericks versus the Phoenix Suns. That was a good game.
Very good game.
All of the stars performed. Everybody
showed up in that
30
game.
Plus, and it
was
a really, really good game.
It was a good game.
That might be the game of the playoffs. Depending on how everyone, their standings end, wouldn't that be a dope first round?
Oh yeah, that would be, yeah.
Because if they wind up, it's a 5th and 6th play or 4th and 5th? Who's the ones that play each other?
The 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th.
So 4th and 5th play each other, yeah.
If they end up 4th and 5th, that would be, because it was a really good game. It
That
was a really good game. And so there were, unfortunately for the people that watch, according to Rodney, there were no great players that played that game. As good as it was.
You had stars and you had superstars. You had three superstars and one star. Yes, that's all. Yeah, right.
So it was a really, really, really good game. I think it's going to be exciting. And so Devin Booker has found his voice again. So Devin Booker at the end of the game, and I think this is moving forward, this is going to be exciting because, Luka and Devin kind of had some words. Devin and Kyrie had words. But I think the most important part was Luka and Devin Booker having words. And, Luka, he's like, yo, I'm all about the competition. But when you start chirping, do it before, the last 3 seconds of the game. Start from the beginning, trash talk in the beginning, and we can go at each other and see, because I think everybody put up really, really impressive numbers.
Everybody balled.
And a high level of efficiency. Yeah. Everybody was, Kevin Durant, 37 points, 15, 17 shots, something crazy,
12 of 17. Yeah.
12 of 17. Yeah. So Kyrie had great numbers.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, he had what, 36?
Booker had 36. He was 15 to 25.
Yeah. That's
15 to 25. I said
15 to 25.
Yeah.
And then what did Luka have? What was his numbers?
And so Luka's number was, actually, Luka didn't shoot well from the field. He was only 8 of 23, but he had a lot of his points at the free throw line. He was 17 and 19 from the free throw line. So he didn't shoot well, but he got to the line quite a bit, as you can see.
Yeah, that's impressive. So that's going to be, that was a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, it was.
What do you want? Anything you want to add to that?
I would just basically say
display of greatness.
I think
display of greatness.
No greatness. There's no greatness there. You know what I'm saying? Because none of them have chips except Kyrie, who won with LeBron. So,
wait a minute.
But I would say they don't. No one has chips on that team. Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Grant won 2 with Steph. So basically, I just tease it. But no, I was gonna say Booker though. I was just saying this real quick. It looked like his beef wasn't really with Luka though. He was beefing with the ref.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. About he thought there should have been a foul there called on Luka, an offensive foul. So, and then I guess Luka took exception, like, yo, okay, you OD, and like, what you beefing about? You know what I mean? And then of course, that other thing. But what was interesting though, and it was said today, what's his name? Brian Windhorst was on First Take and Get Up this morning. He was talking about how Kyrie and KD, they haven't spoken since they departed. And KD said last week he has not spoke to Kyrie, and they did not look at each other during that whole game. There was no acknowledgement of one another, no dap, no what's up, no head nod, no nothing. They was completely, in fact, there was a couple of times where they would just walk right by each other during timeouts or whatever. So there was no acknowledgement of one another. Looks like, again, we see the pattern kind of takes all over again, again with Kyrie. He did the same thing with LeBron a little bit there. And then we saw even with KD and Russ, when Russ went to Golden State, they had some little beef. But they did start chirping in that first game, if you remember when they came back.
That's right.
Kind of going back a little bit. But yeah, I just thought that's an interesting little storyline there that these guys aren't even talking. Although KD did say at the end of the game, in the post game, he's like, he said, I know what, Kyrie can do. I mean, I played with him for 3 years, but I was also playing against him for a number of years too. So, very familiar with what he can do. But yeah, man, that's interesting that those guys didn't, acknowledge each other on the court. That is an
I just have a question, and maybe I don't know. When do they have time to come up with all these handshakes?
You mean the players?
Everybody got these.
Yeah, everybody. Oh yeah.
Spinning the fingers and
I can't remember. What's amazing to me is how you remember, because it's a unique handshake for every person you dap up.
Right.
Like in our day, D, it was the same dap. Everybody got the same
kind of dap. In the shoulder.
Throw the shoulder in, and that's it.
But people are doing, he's pinky. I lock my pinky with him. And him, I lock my index. Like, who has that time? I mean, I guess they are spending memory. Right. They're spending so much time together. You got to realize, I mean, that's their family. I mean, if you're spending that 42 games on the road or 41 games on the road, and you're traveling, and if you're in the playoffs, So I guess there are bonds that are created, but I mean, there are handshakes. And so it's interesting that they had one signature handshake where they were, snapping and cracking each other's knuckles, but then now you don't speak.
Maybe what do you think about that?
I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
Really?
Yeah, I do like that because I like both of them individually, but I do like the competitive nature, right? And if you left somebody high and dry, it might not be any long-term ill will, but we're in the. I like the fact that, hey, I came here to win this game.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. So, where do you place? If you had to place blame in one of these two things I'm going to mention to you, where do you put the blame more at? Do you blame KD for bringing in Kyrie, or do you blame Kyrie for demanding the trade that ultimately led to Durant, or Kyrie blowing the team up? So is it KD's fault for bringing in Kyrie, or is it Kyrie who ultimately blew the whole thing up and all of the antics that came along with everything that he did and all the distraction that he created?
So is this you want who has the higher percentage?
Yeah, because who has a higher percentage of the blame to you? If you had to choose those two things to be a blame, who gets more to blame? Which percentage swings?
51-49 Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Listen, I think it's an African proverb with the frozen snake, right? And when it thaws out, it still bites you, right?
Right.
So Kevin Durant had to have known that based off of Kyrie's past, there is a chance that he can burn a bridge after he loses interest or he wears out his welcome, and at some point he wants out.
Right.
Instead, he is as dug in his views and his beliefs as he is off the court. He doesn't display that same drive and sticking to something. Hey, I'm going to work through this process.
Right.
He has shown a pattern of listen, I'm gonna get out of here.
Right.
I gotta get up out of here. So that is part of. So that's why Kevin Durant has to get the majority, and it's a slim majority, Reaper majority, 51-49.
Okay, so 51-49.
Yeah, I would give him. Yeah, because you have to know your audience. You do have to know your circle. As we say, John Morant, you got to know who you are aligning yourself and bringing it to. What will they ultimately do under pressure, right? Right. If you're committing a crime, right? And we don't advocate for crime.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to commit a crime and you already know somebody as soon as a little bit of pressure, they start. That's not the person you want to bring, right? You better bring somebody that has the same, intestinal fortitude and has that type of, listen.
Exactly. I agree.
Or do it by yourself.
Or do it by yourself, which KD.
But if you have somebody, if you know someone is going to get shaky when times get hard, or if they receive pressure, they fold, or they fold or then they go into a shell. And either one is of no use overall, right? Because you still have to communicate, right? Facts. And so the fact is, if that communication has severed, maybe in the off season after it's all said and done, maybe their relationship changes. Maybe because I think he was blindsided by the demand of the trade, and I think that the scab might have been torn off. Or dealing with it is still a sore subject. I don't think. And in time, everything time heals most wounds. It doesn't heal all of them, but it heals most wounds. And in this situation, if it's from a standpoint of just balling, and let me tell you where the forgiveness and everything will come in, and he will be definitely willing to have and commune with Kyrie again if they win the championship. If they win the championship, there will be no hard feelings.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
all will be forgiven. Absolutely.
So who you rooting for more? Who you want to see win a chip? You want KD to win a chip before KD?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Because overall, I blame Kyrie more than Kevin Durant and James Harden for the failure in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He has to, out of those three stars, it's not 33 in the third.
No,
he takes the lion's share of that dysfunction.
I agree.
But slowly but surely, he started to surgically dismantle that team.
Yeah, he did.
His unwillingness to work when Kevin Durant was injured and didn't want to get vaccinated. They couldn't build chemistry, and so since he has a ring, Kevin Durant has a ring. He was Harden is like, yo, I'm trying to get a ring. I got to get out of here. I got to go with the team.
Yeah,
and so I don't blame him whatsoever for that. So
and I think I'll say this last point and we'll move on. But I think even when they went, you go far back when they first got there, and when Kyrie, and I think it was Kyrie, I could be wrong on this. Kyrie's the first one to come out and say, "Hey, we don't even need a coach," right? And then Kevin Durant kind of jumps in on it, and that's not something Kevin Durant would have said, right? So you kind of see the influence that Kyrie's demeanor and his kind of influence was having to some degree with KD, right? Because KD could be a little rogue already, right? We know he kind of fight for his own independence and kind of has this FU mentality kind of thing with people. But I think when you look at what Kyrie, there's just certain things I think Durant wouldn't have crossed the line on, right? I don't think KD would ever disrespected our head coach and said, well, we don't really need a coach. But with Kyrie saying that, and then you caught in the moment, KD just kind of, jumped on the tail there and went with that. So, you could see things even from back then. Now that you look in hindsight, you could see a lot of things that you see the way this was going to actually end up. So, yeah. All right, well, I just want to know. You're a Net fan, and, you saw two of your superstars leave and leave you there in the 6th seed, and just want to see how you felt about those guys and their current relationship situation, and just want to see how you felt about that. That's good.
Yeah, it's all good. We're still not play-in bound like some other teams may be. But let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk a little NFL.
Oh, gosh.
And let's talk about tomorrow is the franchise tag deadline.
Yes, it is.
The truth hurts. That's why you're laughing. The truth hurts.
No, you didn't see this. You didn't see.
I saw that. I saw that.
Okay,
I will deal with the producer offline. When this show ends, I will deal with the producer. Okay? The producer will be dealt with.
Will be dealt with, see?
Because nothing goes on this show. That should have been approved prior to. We didn't have any room for that clip to come in. But that's all good.
That clip came in perfect. It was a good way to end the segment.
A lot of times the people closest to you are the ones that let's talk NFL. Franchise deadline is tomorrow. So one of the big franchise tags was Tony Pollard from your Cowboys.
Yeah.
So this, I think that was a great move. I think he just makes right under $11 million, 10 point something, which is great. But they're not going to. I think you're going to lose a tight end. Dalton Schultz is not.
That's fine. We don't want Dalton Schultz. He can go. Absolutely. Hendershot and Schultz are more than capable of making up the production.
Wait. You're losing Schultz. So Hendershot and who?
Hendershot and Ferguson. I'm sorry. Hendershot and Ferguson. So Hendershot and Ferguson are more than capable of making up for the loss of production that we imminently will have with Schultz's departure. So, but we don't care. Schultz is a good tight end. There's a market for him. We can't pay him what he would want. So it's look, we gave you a tag. You made some money. You went and did your thing. I like the way he ascended because Blake Jarwin was actually the guy who was our tight end for the future. We actually signed him. He really ascended, but he got hurt. And then that's when Schultz took like any athlete would do. You take advantage of the opportunity you get. He did well. He got him a franchise tag, and then now he gets to walk. But Ferguson and Hendershot, I love those two dudes. We love them. They love him. We love him in Dallas. We love those two guys in Dallas. Love them. Okay. So that's fine. That's cool.
I'm glad you guys love them. My question to you is are Zeke's days numbered? I know he's saying he's willing to take, but you can't. You can't spend $1 on him. You got to get him out of that building.
You why. No, I'm gonna tell you what you do. When you give Zeke a very, very. If I'm the Cowboys, and I'll be honest, and this might be insulting to Zeke, he probably would walk away before he takes it. But Zeke, you get no more than $1 million, maybe $2 million. That's it. You become a fullback in situations for us. You come in on some blocking packages, And you could be a nice goal line runner for us. You know, we'll get Pollard and Davis and whoever we draft in the draft this year. They'll bring us down to the goal line, and Zeke can punch it in. Zeke is still good for a yard or two, but that's it. Yeah, and if he doesn't take that type of role and that kind of money, then he's got to go. No question about it. You know, Zeke. And I know Jerry loves him like a son, so I know Jerry's gonna do everything in his power to keep him.
But he made his money. He should be willing to do that. If it's he's made really. He's
$50 million guaranteed. He has a $90 million contract, but 50 was guaranteed, and he had his contract 2 years before his rookie deal even ended. Dallas definitely should not have signed him as soon as they did. They should have waited another year. So, but before they re-signed Zeke. But that wasn't a good move. They signed him way too early with 2 years on his contract. They had to hold out, get to it. And Pollard, who we drafted at that time, was actually playing really, really good. And that, if you recall, that's when Jerry Jones was like, who's Zeke? Because Pollard was running crazy in the preseason. Yeah, who's Zeke? You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, after he signed him, then he came out with these shirts that said, who's Zeke? And then on the back it says, you know, that Zeke, whatever it said. I actually bought one of the shirts. Jerry's a good marketer. I fell for the game. So, you know.
I remember somebody on the show. I can't really say, I can't be specific as to who. I don't see Tony Pollard as a 3-down back. So are they going to now? Can he be a bell cow back? Because you are replacing him. You are replacing Zeke
but
with
Davis Malik Davis can definitely do that. No, Malik Davis is good enough.
So who's going to be? You're not tagging him for Malik Davis to be the main back.
No. Pollard will get. See, here's the thing. I don't think when you say bell cow, you're talking about a guy that's going to
3 down back.
3 down, right? Pollard. I think you do got to take him out in certain situations. Now, remember, you got a new OC, so Schottenheimer is designing the plays. Mike is going to call the plays, Mike McCarthy. And so now what's got to happen is that you're going to use, I think, Pollard in more ways than Kellen Moore ever would imagine to use him. So he'll be shifting in and out. So you're going to start having him line up in slots and different things of that nature. But so he can't be a bell cow back where he's going to take the ball all 3 downs or get, say, 25, 26 to 30 carries a game. I don't think you need to use Pollard like that. Now, Pollard is fresh. He got a lot of tread on the tires because, again, he was a backup to Zeke. So his body is fresh, right? And he's going to recover from the injury. But the whole thing is you got to bring in Malik Davis. I think you still got to have, I won't say a tandem situation like what you had with Zeke and Pollard, but I do think you still got to get Malik Davis in there or whoever we're going to draft up in there. But I think they'll give Malik Davis a shot to kind of step up in somewhat of a secondary role behind Pollard. But no, Pollard, I don't think Pollard can carry the ball 30 times a game and do all the other things that he's good at because he can create some mismatches against linebackers and stuff if he's lined up in a slot. So you got to use him strategically.
I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is historically, how do the Cowboys use their running backs? Remember DeMarco Murray?
Yeah.
Like, you're not paying that big money for him. I mean, Zeke got paid, but they got their milk out that cow.
Oh, we definitely did. We definitely did.
So to think that he's going to be scat backish situationally,
no.
He's going to line up.
Yeah, he's going to line up.
He's going to get 300 plus carries.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of carries, but I also think that. And Mike did say he wants to run the ball. That's what he said the other day.
Yeah.
He wants to run the ball.
Taking a shot at Kellen Moore.
Yeah, which he's kind of taking a little shot at Kellen there. You know what I'm trying to say?
He's on the hot seat, though.
But I don't think, which was kind of stupid because really, if you ask me, I thought Kellen ran the ball too much because he loved to run on first down. And I hated when running on first down.
With Zeke for half a yard.
Exactly. So they never failed. So I don't know what Mike's talking about because I felt they ran the ball way too much, in my opinion.
Or maybe it was predictably running the ball. As opposed to running the ball, because we run the ball all the time, but it's not predictable. What are you looking over there? You're looking. You're looking at the way y'all exited in the playoffs. That's what y'all looking. I mean, what are you looking over there for? I mean, with 2 years in a row, we knocked y'all out. I mean,
listen, I can't. Listen, D.
Okay, exactly.
I told you got it. I can't. What am I gonna say? I can't.
And you know what your response is just like Charles Barkley when they say, "Where your rings?"
You're
quiet.
Exactly.
There's nothing you can say.
There's nothing I can say.
That's the mute button. That's the mute button.
That's it.
Playoffs 2 years in a row. Boop. Is his camera working? Is his audio on?
Right.
So In any case, I think that's a good move.
No, it's a good move. I like it. Yeah, we had to because Tony was a tremendous difference for us offensively. So yeah, you got to get him back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think what's interesting is Tennessee is shopping Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
and so the first team that came to my mind, and I don't even know if this is even possible. You put Derrick Henry on the Buffalo Bills, because that is what they're missing, a running game.
Right.
And if you had that type of running back, and he's not really, he's dealt with some injuries, but overall he's been pretty consistent. So if you had that type of running back, a 3-down back it takes the pressure off of Josh Allen. It solidifies your offense and your running game, because once you get a lead, you can just run out the clock. Josh Allen doesn't have to put his body and sacrifice his body to establish a run game. I think it would be a great move. I don't know if they can do it from a standpoint, but if they're trying to shop him, why not?
Why not?
I'd be okay with it.
No, I would be okay with that too. And in fact, the thing is that, if he wants to go to a team like Buffalo, let's just say, what you're, like to see happen, which I do think that could be a good fit for him. Although, and then he could also share the backfield with what's his name back there? I can't remember their back now that they've got. But,
Devin Singletary.
Singletary, that's it. Thank you. It would be good because at this point in Henry's career, right, the guy's got a lot of mileage on him, right? So, and he doesn't have to be, to what you were saying earlier about Pollard, that bell cow where he's now the whole central focal point of the offense, right? Because he can actually just kind of offset an already lethal passing game that you have for the most part between, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and those guys. So I think, that's a good place for him, because if I'm Derrick, right, I'm not going to get the big money, but I got a chance to at least, pursue a ring, and I don't have to take the bulk of the offensive pressure on my shoulders like I had to do with Tennessee, which you really had to do once A.J. Brown was gone when he got traded. So it wasn't really a good look for Tennessee, and Tannehill gets hurt, and so I just think and Tennessee, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with them moving on either from Derrick. I think they need to start to retool their team and kind of look differently offensively anyway. So they need to get more weaponry in there anyway. So letting him go, that work. But I like that, D. I like that. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Buffalo.
I thought that would be a decent landing spot. Let's talk about Derrick Carr. He has finally found a home after the Raiders have, dismissed him and Josh McDaniels didn't want to, re-sign him. There was talk that he was going to the Jets. Yeah. There was talk that he was going to Carolina Panthers. Yeah. And ultimately, he finds his home in the Big Easy. He's now with the New Orleans Saints. Clearly, he's the best quarterback in the division. Might be his decision might have boiled down to the most impact instantly, right? Right. Because if you go to the Jets, you're in the AFC East. You got to deal with Josh Allen, right? Right. So it's I got to deal with Tua in Miami and thinking about that. Do I want to bother with that? Right. Or do I want to go to a division that has Ritter for Atlanta? Who knows who they have for the Panthers? Who knows who they have, with Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers? He's gone. So now I come in, I'm the best player, I'm the best quarterback in the division, and I have some pieces, Chris Olave, I got pieces as soon as I come in. Good defense, still top 10 defense.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah, defense is good. Yep.
Yeah, so coming in, it's like, it's a good landing spot. They gave him an extension, a 4-year extension. Yep. So it was, maybe that was the best decision for him. What's interesting is I think also the Raiders, there's talk that Jimmy G is going to the Raiders. That's the talk. We'll see what happens. Right, I think that wouldn't be bad. I don't think that would be bad. But my question to you is, with the Saints making this move, what happens with Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston is left in the cold because they're saying that he's going to be a cap casualty. They're going to let him go. You won't need him. I don't know if they're going to keep Taysom Hill. You could maybe put him specifically in the tight end position at this point, make him a tight end, because clearly that was just he was never a quarterback. He could play that in, certain plays, but he wasn't going to be your franchise quarterback, right?
No,
so maybe he just becomes a tight end where he's shown that he can be effective. You put him in wildcat, he can step under, be under center and run the ball, whatever. It's designed because every time he comes in, you know what he's going to do. There's a good chance that the ball is coming to him. So you just make him a traditional tight end if he can play that, and make him the tight end, and in that way he adds another wrinkle to the offense. What do you say?
No, I agree with you there. And Michael Thomas tweeted out today, "Thank you, Jesus," right? When Derrick Carr got signed there. And so obviously he's excited. When players do that, you always wonder, like, man, is that a knock on the guys he's been throwing the ball to?
Big time.
Yeah, but listen, receivers got to get the ball, right? And so you get a guy like Derrick Carr that comes in there. And I like what you talk about with everything. I mean, Alvin Kamara, I think he'll probably do some, he'll probably get suspended or something may happen to him with this latest incident he's involved in. But, provided he gets back on the field, you got a good defense already. So I like the things that they're doing. Look, Winston will find a home. I think he'll get somewhere. He's still a good quarterback in his league. I mean, he's definitely at the minimum a backup, right? At this probably his point in career. I don't think anybody would invest in him as a starter, or maybe he could be a bridge kind of guy like Mariota was in Atlanta. One of those kind of guys that could bridge a team for a little bit until they find what they're looking for. But yeah, I like the move with the Saints. I thought he was really going to go to the Jets. That's what I really thought. So maybe Aaron Rodgers may go there. We'll see what happens with him. That's going to be interesting to see, where all that's going to go. I think Green Bay should sever ties with him. But just going back.
The Jets are where all the Green Bay quarterbacks go to die. That's it. That's where they go. Yeah. It's when it's all said and done.
With Brett, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they burn bridges and they wind up going there.
Yep, that's true. That's where he could end up. But I tell you, man, that would be a nice spot. They get Rodgers there, man. That team is ready to go. That team is definitely either at the minimum, that's a second round playoff team at the minimum. You know what I'm saying? And
depending on what the Bills do, they could win that division.
They could win that division, D. You're absolutely right. They really could win. And Miami's in there still, but the Bills are still the team to beat in that division. They very well. And Rodgers can clearly take them over the top. With Reese coming back, you got the receiver
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So
Elijah Moore. You got players. You got
and
players.
A good defense too, which
defense is good.
Which Cole didn't really have too much for most of his career, I would say, for the most part, when he was in Green Bay. So we'll see with that. We'll see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see who the Washington Redskins pick. Commanders pick up. I need to see.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's still some floating pieces.
Concerned.
Real quick with the 49ers. Yep. Brock Perdy, if he doesn't have surgery this week, they're going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback because Trey Lance is still working his way back. There was talk that, whether he'll be ready for training camp or thereafter, pretty close to it, but they're still going to need two quarterbacks. If Brock Purdy, because he had so much swelling, he couldn't get the surgery. Right. So that is a setback because he was supposed to have the surgery, I think, a month ago. So if he's supposed to, I think this is the deadline. If he doesn't have surgery this week based on the swelling of his arm, then they're going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback. And everybody is now you're hearing Tom Brady coming home. He wants to Now, wouldn't that be crazy if ultimately Tom Brady comes out of retirement to play for the 49ers? I'm not for it only because of mobility. I think you don't have to be Lamar Jackson, but you certainly need in the Shanahan offense, you do need mobility. What's so crazy is this. Look at what they're doing with Lamar Jackson. They're not even giving him the exclusive tag. So Lamar Jackson might be on another team. He can go to the highest bidder.
He will be because Baltimore's not going to match whatever team gives him. No doubt.
They're not. No. And although he may not get that, 200 plus fully guaranteed, certainly Baltimore has shown and proven that they really do not value him. I think the bridge is burned. He has played in good faith. He has played and injured himself. He's been a league MVP already.
No weapon. Yep.
And you haven't surrounded him. Now you can say, well, he's a mobile quarterback. He's not really a throwing quarterback. But they did make some attempts, and they just haven't panned out. All of the receivers haven't panned out. So at this point, he should probably go elsewhere.
No, he needs to. He needs to, and he will. And he'll definitely end up somewhere else. And so it's just a matter of the picks and everything. He got the 2 first-round picks. I think that they talk if they don't match the deal, which I still don't think is enough. I would probably try to get a little bit more for that. Jackson is worth that. And
certainly.
He's definitely worth that. So, 260 is the standard right now. Deshaun Watson set the bar. So what you got to figure. Obviously, Lamar, thank you. Lamar's looking for at least, right, 261 at the minimum, right?
Right.
So somebody's got to give him that at least. But even if he doesn't get that, I don't think Baltimore wants to even pay him $200 million. So So he'll be somewhere else, and you never know. Could be Washington, right? Could be the Jets. Somebody's willing to pay him.
If he goes to
or Atlanta too, they say Atlanta because Blank. He's ready to write the check. He's ready to go.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it, but the team where he would be most dangerous, Miami. He goes to Miami.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That could be
with Tyreek and.
Yeah. Ooh, my God. Yeah.
That's just speed on speed on speed.
It's crazy with that.
Speed and feed.
Speed and feed.
Feed is over. The feed is over now. No more feed. Y'all got to think of something else.
No
Zeke
more
is
feed.
Out of
We
there.
got to think of something else. Zeke is gone.
Speed.
Zeke is gone. Yeah,
but if he went to Miami, Florida coming back, that would be
crazy. But you got to remember,
Corey would love that. Corey would love that.
Corey would love that, but he won't stay there with those guys, though. Well, I mean, they would have to probably give up a lot of draft picks because I don't know if they would want to give up any current players. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I don't
unless
know
they give them, unless they swap 2 or 4 too. And what about 3 first-round draft picks?
Well, I don't know. So with that exclusive, by him not getting the exclusive tag, they would have to match and give 2 first-round picks. I don't think they have to give more than that, unless there's a bidding war for him, and that very well may be the case.
Yeah, that could end up right.
It just is paying up and above what he's asking. Or I think the non-guaranteed or non-exclusive is like $32 million. I think if I'm not mistaken. I think so too. I think the exclusive is like 45 or 42.
Yeah, it is 32. Yeah, you're right.
So if they're going to pay over, let's say they want to pay him, we're going to pay you $40 million a year. We'll have to give we have to give Baltimore 2 first-round picks, but I don't think you have to give them more than that unless there is 3 or 4 teams that they can't say, is it 2 first-round picks at a minimum or 2 first-round picks period? Because Baltimore always has the right to first right of refusal.
Right, exactly. And I don't know if they could manipulate those picks by saying, could Baltimore ask for more picks should they want it, or can another team even actually add more picks? I don't know if it's structured and set in stone that with that type of non-exclusive tag that, is it just regulated to, okay, with that kind of structure, a team can only give up 2 first-round picks.
Got it. And I'm not sure about that either.
We probably have to do some research on that. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to kind of research before we got on, but yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But that's it. There's still some good stuff to look at, man. NFL's in there. They still gonna always stay interesting, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
NFL, they still rule.
But man. So it should be really interesting.
Yes,
we'll see what happens with all of the things we discussed because it's. Information by the time our next show, I'm sure we'll have some more information on John Morant. Maybe the NBA will make a decision by then. We may see where some more, because tomorrow we'll see who will get franchised. Teams are starting to try to cut people to make moves, salary caps. Jalen Ramsey might be going. He might be a Cowboy. There's a lot of people that's going to make some moves. Cut. Yep. They can't restructure it. And listen, if you're expensive, that's it. I mean, teams have to make the difficult decisions. Floyd from the Rams, he got cut.
Floyd just got
So,
cut.
yeah,
Bobby
so
Wagner, like this,
yeah,
there's some people out there. And Wagner's good. I kind of, there's a lot of talk in Dallas because he wanted to come to Dallas actually before he went to LA. He was hoping he'd go to Dallas. He wanted to play in Dallas. So we'll see. And he balled out last year. Out. And he's very healthy. People try to knock him for his age. He's 32, but he's not old. But he balled. He had over 160 something tackles. He was rated 5 in PFF. So he balled. He had a really good season last year.
I mean,
we'll see what happens. Yeah, you're right.
Robbie Gould wants to test the market.
Robbie
He's a
Gould,
40-year-old kicker. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for leaving us high and dry. But you know
what's
what?
his name too, right? What's the receiver from the Rams too? The guy,
Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Because that was a failure. He made the money.
The
Rams are willing. The Rams are willing to pay part of his salary. Because I think they signed him to three-year, $40 million.
Okay,
so they're willing to pay. I think he's supposed to get $11 million or something next year.
It was about,
so they're willing to pay a portion of that.
Okay.
If they could work it out with somebody. But based on what he did last year, who's going to be? Ain't going to be nobody lining up to sign him. But maybe there will be because he's a big receiver. Yeah. Maybe they didn't. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
It should be interesting. By our next show, we'll have definitely some more hot takes as it pertains to the NFL, of course, the NBA. But once again, shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music.
Infinite Audio.
Thank you. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Kingdom Creative, high five.
Although we did have that slide that came up that was not pre-authorized.
That was okay. That slide
we have
was okay.
pre-production, and this is the reason why we have pre-production. So there are no surprises. But once again,
well, we want Kingdom Creative to be creative, right?
This will be dealt with. This will be dealt with off camera. I will be on the phone with the
if he messes up, if we just have a blank screen, then D messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kingdom Creative.
The producer one. The production one.
The producer one. Right.
Right.
All this tough talk he doing. Right. We have a black screen with no background.
Just a silhouette.
Right.
But in any case, Kingdom Creative, thank you. Once again, please like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page.
Please.
Until next time, Rod, a pleasure, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do, bro.
Yeah. Lakers in what place now? I just want to keep on track. No. They're in 11th. And they're a half game out of 10.
By the time we come back on the next show, we have gone up a seed. Watch. You'll see.
Are you going to beat Memphis?
Yeah, we'll beat Memphis. Oh, yeah. We'll beat them. Yeah, we'll beat them.
Cool. Sounds good.
You're going to apply.
We'll still be in the 6th.
But, 6th. Y'all ain't going back to 7.
We'll still be in the 6th, man.
Y'all still be in the 6th?
Yeah.
You probably will. Yeah.
But thanks once again. Like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube page. Until next time. Peace.